to concern.
Yeah, or talking about possibly winning basketball games. But I have a feeling he's more concerned than he talks about, and when he says it's easy. It may be for him, but it sure didn't look easy for the Knicks last season.
And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us. And what stands out to you guys from the 76ers in this one?
And really, it's always a positive when you can get some impact off your bench.
Always nice to have firepower coming from the reserves, and they've had firepower and then some so far.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So on the floor for Philadelphia, Okafor out there with Nerlens Noel. Then there's Isaiah Cannon. Then there's Ezail Iverson. And it's Stauskas in at the 3 spot.
You know, there was a bunch of stuff that went wrong for the Knicks last season, and we don't have enough time to get into all of it. One thing that was at least decent was their play within the division.
Lopez, he's checked in for Porzingis. Well, last season, the Knicks did finish last in the Atlantic Division, but they at least took 5 games off the rest of the teams.
Yeah, and listen, they would like to avoid slipping back into the mid-2000s when they came in last in that Atlantic Division 4 out of 5 years. The division is still up for grabs year to year, so maybe the Knicks can get back on track faster than most teams that only win 17 games.
Here's Iverson. Aaron Aflalo picking up that last basket. Puts up the baby hook, and it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Noel's got 5 points so far. For the New York Knicks, they come in off a good outing against Minnesota.
Yeah, the bench production in that game was terrific. Points from multiple sources.
Yeah, everybody that stepped on the floor played and made a contribution, and that's always a positive thing.
And so here is Philadelphia. Aaron Aflalo missing his last shot. Stauskas inside the line. Offensive rebound. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Okafor dishes to Cannon. Iverson against Calderon. Pass to Cannon. He feeds it to Stauskas. Knicks with the rebound. Last time they met in New York.
And it wasn't just about the bad shooting. It was really more so about the bad offense. They just didn't execute well. The screens weren't there. The spacing was poor, and thusly the defeat.
Well, you've laid out a couple of the details that lead to good offense, or bad if you don't execute them. Shooting is just a byproduct of not screening well and not moving the ball or players well. They didn't execute anything on the offensive end.
Iverson, no luck. Knicks trail by 3. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
That doesn't go either for a follow.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
There's a screen by Noel. Cannon kicks to Iverson. To the paint. Here's Noel. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, with Nerlens Noel coming out, we knew he'd be a plus shot blocker. He set the Kentucky single game record with 12 in a game shot blocks. He also knew he had the chance to be a great rebounder, but we definitely knew he needed help with his shot, and that will continue on into next year.
Yeah, you know, he spent the year rehabbing that knee, but also spent that year correcting his shooting form. And we're not talking about just a tweak when it comes to shooting the basketball.
Here's Galloway. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Now, here's Marshall. 4-point game. And that one's good. Roten.
What a pass by Marshall. That's outstanding teamwork.
The Knicks have gone only 2 of 7 from the field since the second quarter got underway. Here's Galloway. 9 points last game. Aflalo, no good. So for the 76ers, their last game, a win against the Atlanta Hawks.
And how about the accuracy that was on display from 3-point range in that game? They were lethal.
Yeah, splashing those threes as they did really allowed them to continuously deflate that crowd and keep them at bay. Boy, that was a nice road win for him, no doubt.
And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for Philadelphia.
You've got to like the consistency with which they're hitting that mid-range jumper.
You know, the other thing they've been able to do in the early going is to get to the free throw line and convert tonight.
And the 76ers making a change here. Grant's checked in. He hits the second from the line. Knicks trail by 7. Now here's Calderon. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. O'Quinn the pass to Calderon. The kick out to Aflalo. Dishes it to O'Quinn. 3 on the clock. Lopez a screen. Here's Galloway. And the rejection by Noel. Marshall with it. Now guarded by Aflalo. Marshall dishes to Noel. The feed to Covington. Kicks to Marshall. Pass to Grant. The 10-footer. That misses off the backboard. New York's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Calderon kicks to Aflalo. And the rejection by Noel. And Lopez throws it down. The 76ers leading by 5. Now Marshall. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. But he recovers it. Here's Covington. The 76ers again can't hit it.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Lopez sets a screen for Aflalo. He dishes it to Lopez. 6 on the shot clock and stolen by Roten. Inside, here's Noel, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Carl Landry's checked in for Nerlens Noel. Then for the Knicks, Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Lopez. Anthony comes in for Aaron Aflalo. And it's Grant in for Jose Calderon. Here's Galloway. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Grant the pass to Carmelo. A three-pointer is right on target. Anthony's got 13 points.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
Well, the city of Philadelphia has had some tough fans. There's no doubt. You know, we've seen a boo Santa Claus. You can imagine, Greg, how they felt about this Sixers team a year ago.
You know, the Sixers were going to be in trouble from the very start of the year. A lot of fans didn't even bother to show up to boo. I mean, Philly had the worst attendance in the league last season.
But they've got hope, Greg.
A lot of young talent. Maybe this is the year it starts to materialize. And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Now, here's Marshall. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Now the pass to Roten. Landry with the screen. Grant, right side. 5 to shoot. Landry, no good.
Well, when you look at the 76ers, it's no surprise that they have empty seats. I mean, they ended up 12 and 29 at home, which wasn't the worst mark in the NBA, but it was tied for second worst.
Now, here's O'Quinn following the shot by Carl Landry. Feeds to Marshall. He kicks it to Roten. Now the dish to Covington. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. And that one's good. Roten.
And Philadelphia just at times hard to watch, even at home. I mean, they had the worst home field goal percentage in the entire league. Hard to get the crowd into it if you are clanking it on the rim every trip down.
And here's Anthony for 3. And the Knicks hit again from deep.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
And they may have found the Achilles heel of this defense. That was their 9th straight point from beyond the arc.
Timeout called the 76ers.
You know, for Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him, but with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't happen.
It was Amundsen. He's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
And getting back to Carmelo last year, that team really became devoid of talent. In some games, Greg, in games that he played, he seemed like their only scoring option.
You know, we talk about needing a big three to compete for a championship, and for over half the season last year, the Knicks basically had a big half. I mean, because Carmelo missed that half, and when the deck is stacked against you like that, sometimes it's better to fold your cards and live to play another day, and that's really what Carmelo did. Frozen. Guys just ice cold, unable to contribute offensively.
Passes to Amundsen. Out to the right wing. Grant dishes to Amundsen. Back to Grant. Here's Serafin. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
He had his head on a swivel and was able to pick out the pass and get the assist.
1:21 left now here in the second. Pass to Landry. He feeds it to Iverson. And he gets it to go from the corner. And the 76ers lead by 6. The Knicks have gone 7 of 16, shooting just under 50% here in the second quarter. Grant kicks to Anthony. Soft touch off the glass. Anthony's got 18 points in the game. 54 seconds left in the first half of the game. Landry with the screen. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. Can't capitalize on the good pick. 2-for-1 chance here.
Let's see if they use the clock to their advantage.
And here is Anthony. He had 16 points in the win against Minnesota.
And he also made an impact on defense, guys. 3 block shots over the course of the game.
That's good. Now just a 2-point 76ers lead.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Iverson outside. Screen by Boozer. Iverson kicks to Boozer. Some solid defense from Grant.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. 76ers lead by 2. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Carlos Boozer. And Carlos, this is a game that's had some back and forth. Does their approach require adjustments?
Yeah, they're a great team. I mean, we came out great in the first 5-6 minutes. They came back, and then we fought back. We didn't hold our head. You know, we're very resilient, so we're going to keep fighting to the end.
Carlos, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for the third quarter of basketball.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. For the 76ers, the first quarter was pretty even. At the end of one, they were able to end up with a 5-point lead. The second quarter saw them lose just a fraction of the lead they held at the end of the first, as they're now ahead by 2 points at the half. And from what we saw so far from the Sixers, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. The 3 E's, Shaq. That's all I got to say. They've avoided turning the basketball over, and that's a recipe for success. Now, here's how they do it. By sacrificing the highlight reel plays, you get good looks, and those home run plays will still come.